Nothing says, glamorous career in xenobiology, quite like elbow deep in alien viscera at 3 in the morning while your coffee grows a film that's probably more interesting than the specimens you're dissecting. Dr. Mira Voss had spent the last 6 years on Europa Station cataloging dead things that fell out of the sky, and tonight was shaping up to be just another thrilling chapter in her autobiography, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Formaldehyde. The bio-waste disposal chute hissed as another batch of corporate rejects tumbled into the incineration chamber. Standard protocol. Anything deemed non-viable by the mining consortiums got shipped to her lab for a quick autopsy before being turned into expensive ash. The irony wasn't lost on her that she'd become the galaxy's most overqualified garbage collector. Computer, delay incineration cycle by 30 minutes, she muttered, pulling on fresh gloves. Let's see what Hegemony Mining decided wasn't worth their time this week. The answer, apparently, was a creature that looked like someone had crossbred a dragon with a fever dream. About the size of a house cat, it lay curled in the containment field with scales that shifted between deep purple and electric blue. Even unconscious, or dead, it was beautiful in that way that usually meant extremely poisonous, in her experience. Mira activated her neural scanner, the familiar tingle of the interface connecting to her cortex. The readings made her pause. Brain activity. Faint, but definitely there. Well, that's inconvenient, she said to the empty lab. You're supposed to be dead, little guy. The creature's chest rose and fell with barely perceptible breaths. Its elongated snout twitched, revealing needle-sharp teeth. Corporate had labeled it as Specimen 7749X, unclassified predatory larvae. Recommend immediate disposal. Immediate disposal. Because nothing said scientific advancement like incinerating anything that didn't fit neatly into their profit margins. Mira leaned closer, her scanner picking up increasingly complex neural patterns. This wasn't just brain activity, this was conscious thought. Fragmented, panicked, but undeniably intelligent. The reading scrolled across her retinal display, pain receptors firing, stress hormones spiking, but underneath it all, something that looked almost like language patterns. Okay, this is officially above my pay grade, she muttered, but her hands were already moving, transferring the creature to a bio-support chamber. Which, considering they pay me in recycled protein bars and the privilege of living in a tin can orbiting a frozen moon, isn't saying much. The creature's vitals stabilized as the chamber flooded with oxygenated nutrient solution. Its scales rippled, color shifting to a softer azure. One eye cracked open. Large, golden, and far too aware for something that was supposed to be a mindless predator. Myra's neural interface chirped with an incoming message from Station Director Kelson. She ignored it. Then ignored the second one. The third one came with a priority override that made her skull ache. Voss, why is my incineration schedule backed up? We've got another shipment coming in 6 hours. Equipment malfunction, she lied smoothly. Should have it sorted by morning. It better be. Corporate's breathing down my neck about efficiency ratings. The connection severed, leaving Mira alone with her increasingly problematic discovery. The creature, she'd started thinking of it as dragon, for lack of a better term, was now fully conscious, watching her with those unsettling golden eyes. Its neural patterns had evolved from basic survival instincts to something approaching curiosity. So what are you exactly? She asked, not expecting an answer. Some kind of apex predator larva? Bioweapon experiment gone wrong? Or just another casualty of corporate cost-cutting? Dragon tilted its head, and for a moment, Mira could have sworn it understood her. Which was ridiculous. The neural scanner would have detected any signs of linguistic comprehension. Unless. She ran a deeper scan, pushing her equipment to its limits. The results made her blood freeze. Dragon wasn't just intelligent, it was broadcasting. Low-frequency neural emissions, too subtle for standard scanners but they're nonetheless. A distress beacon woven into its very thoughts. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, Mira breathed. You're not just some random specimen, are you? You're sending a message. Dragon's scales flickered between purple and gold, and its neural output spiked. The distress signal intensified, expanding beyond the confines of the station's shielding. Mira stared at the readouts, her career flashing before her eyes. Harboring an undisclosed alien life form was a Class C violation. Allowing it to broadcast unknown signals into space was probably treason. But looking into those ancient, intelligent eyes, she couldn't bring herself to care about regulations. "All right, Dragon," she said, settling into her workstation. "Looks like we're both in trouble now. The question is, who exactly are you calling?" Outside the lab's viewport, Europa's ice-covered surface gleamed under Jupiter's pale light. Space looked empty, peaceful even. Mira had always found comfort in that vast silence. She had no idea it wouldn't stay silent much longer. 3 days later, Mira discovered that space could be very loud indeed. The first sign of trouble was Station Director Kelson's face appearing on every screen in the lab, his usual corporate smile replaced by something approaching panic. "All personnel report to emergency stations. We have visitors." Through her viewport, Mira watched 3 ships materialize from hyperspace. Ships was a generous term. They were more like living mountains, their hulls shifting and flowing like liquid metal. Each one dwarfed Europa Station by a factor of 10, their surfaces covered in what looked like scales that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. Dragon, who had spent the last 3 days growing at an alarming rate and demonstrating an unsettling ability to manipulate the lab's electronics with its thoughts, suddenly became very still. Its scales shifted to deep gold, and it let out a sound that was part purr, part subsonic whale song. "I'm guessing those are your people?" Mira asked. Dragon's response was to project an image directly into her neural interface, a complex hierarchy of interconnected minds, with itself at the center of a web of relationships that hurt to contemplate. Royal lineage, she realized. The little, baby dragon she'd saved from incineration was apparently alien royalty. "Oh, fantastic," she muttered. "I've been harboring the equivalent of a lost prince for 3 days. This is exactly how I wanted to start an interstellar incident." Her comm system crackled to life. The voice that emerged was melodic but alien, speaking in harmonics that made her teeth ache. "We seek the one who tends our lost kit. The one who answered the call of the bonding." Myra's neural interface translated the meaning behind the words, and she felt her stomach drop. Bonding. Pack behavior. She'd inadvertently triggered some kind of adoption protocol by caring for Dragon. "This is Station Director Kelson," came the shaky voice over the comm. We don't understand what you're looking for. We're just a research facility. The bond song has been heard. We come for the one who chose to nurture rather than destroy. The one who is now kin." Dragon padded over to Myra's workstation and began manipulating the controls with surprising dexterity. The lab's communication array activated, and suddenly Mira found herself broadcasting directly to the alien ships. Hello," she said, feeling ridiculous. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. I'm just a xenobiologist. I found your kit in the bio-waste and couldn't bring myself to incinerate it. Standard compassion protocols, nothing more." The response came as a flood of images and emotions through her neural link. Pack dynamics. Loyalty hierarchies. The concept of chosen family transcending species boundaries. And underneath it all, a warm sense of belonging that made her chest tight. "There is no misunderstanding, bond kin. You heard the call of our young and chose to answer. You are now part of the Deep Pack. This brings obligations. This brings protections." Kelson's voice cut through the alien transmission. "Dr. Voss, what the hell is going on? These things are talking about bonding and pack behavior. Did you know about this?" "About as much as I knew that saving a dying creature would trigger first contact protocols," Mira shot back. Maybe if corporate hadn't been so eager to incinerate everything that moved, we wouldn't be in this situation. Dragon, who she was now learning was called something like resonance of new growth in starlight, began projecting more complex images. The mining operations. The casual destruction of Kithrin breeding grounds. The corporate policy of eliminating non-viable specimens before they could be properly studied. They've been dumping your people's children into my incinerator for months, Mira realized aloud. The mining operations have been destroying your nursery worlds. The harmonics from the ships shifted, taking on an edge that made the station's hull vibrate. Not anger, exactly, but something far more dangerous, pack protective instincts on a species-wide scale. This explains much, came the alien voice. The silence from the outer colonies. The missing broods. Your people have been committing genocide without understanding what they destroyed. Kelson's voice cracked. Now wait just a minute. We're operating under standard colonial development protocols. We had no idea. Ignorance is not absolution, the Kithrins replied. But the Bond kin has shown us that not all of your species choose destruction. She has earned speaking rights for her people. Mira felt the weight of that responsibility settle on her shoulders like a lead blanket. I'm not anyone's representative. I'm just a scientist who couldn't watch something die. That is precisely why you speak for them, Dragon projected into her mind. Pack bonds are not chosen by status or power. They are chosen by action. By choosing to nurture instead of destroy. The station shuddered as the Kithrin ships moved closer. Not threateningly, but with the careful precision of apex predators deciding whether to hunt or adopt. So what happens now? Mira asked. The answer came as a complex web of possibilities. Reparations for the destroyed colonies. Shared scientific knowledge. Protection for those who chose to honor the bond ties. And for Mira personally, a choice that would change everything. You can remain with your people as our voice, the lead ship communicated. Or you can join the deep pack and learn to swim between stars. Either way, you are kin now. That cannot be undone. Dragon curled up in her lap, purring with harmonics that made her neural interface sing. Through the bond, she could feel the vast network of minds that was the Kithrin collective, not a hive mind, but a chosen family spanning galaxies. Mira looked out at the alien ships, then at the sleeping creature in her lap, then at the readouts showing a dozen more non-viable specimens scheduled for tomorrow's incineration. Kelson, she said into her calm, I'm going to need a bigger lab. And possibly a new job description. Dr. Voss, you can't seriously be considering. I'm considering saving lives instead of filing reports about corpses, she interrupted. Funny how that works out to be the same thing as preventing an interstellar war. Dragon's purr deepened, and through the bond, Mira felt something she hadn't experienced in years, the warm certainty of belonging somewhere. Even if that somewhere was a pack of alien dragon ships orbiting a frozen moon. Sometimes the most important discoveries were the ones that found you.